Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Okay, so coming to uh, what is Python. So as you are aware, it's a general purpose programming language that is often applied in scripting roles as well. Okay, so Python is a scripting language as well as a programming language. Okay, that's the advantage of it. And Python is also called as a interpreted language. So what is interpreted language? Okay, there are some differences between a program and a scripting. Script is interpreted, but a program is executed. Basically, executed in the sense there are steps, a sequence of instructions wherein the source code is first compiled and the result of that compilation is expected. Okay, this is a way where program executes in a sequence. Okay, sequence of instructions written so that a computer can perform task. But coming to the script, okay, so that is interpreted. Okay, that is a code written in scripting language basically. Okay, scripting language is nothing but it's also a type of programming language in which we can write code to control another software applications. So if you could see, some of the scripts can be written in between the programs. So that's the core advantage of a scripting language. Okay, scripts can be run from back end. Okay, so from front end as well. Okay, in between the programs. Okay, script has its own purpose. That's why we call script as an interpreter. Okay, no need of execution for that. Okay, and coming to history of the Python. Okay, it is invented in Netherlands by Van Rossum in 90s. Okay, in late 1980s, 1989 December. Okay, the implementation was started. Okay, basically Van Rossum was a fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus, so that's the reason he named off a Monty Python. Uh, so it was a famous TV show. Uh, we do not bother about history, but just want to go through. So, but, and it is open source from the beginning itself, Python. So we can download, we can make use of it. Okay, so Python is, that's why we call Python as an open source. Okay, so coming to the next source, so Guido van Rossum said in an experiment in how much freedoms programmers need. Okay, too much freedom, right? Because nobody can read another's code. It's a too little and you know easy to understand. There is no boilerplate code as such in Python. Okay, so very less boilerplate code and easy to understand. The syntax is also very simple when you compare it with other programming languages. So no need to peep into others and understand it. So once you learn the Python, right? It's like so we are learning English. Okay, so the way the syntax, you know, is understandable comparing to other programming languages. Okay, so why was Python created? Okay, the main original motivation for creating the Python was, so there was a need of high level language in one of the operating systems called Amoeba project. There was a time where Rossum tried, and he realized that the development of system administration utilities in C was taking too long. So it was time consuming. So moreover, doing all these things in the shell script wouldn't work. Bone shell that wouldn't work for a variety of reasons. So there was a need for a language that would bridge the gap between C and a shell. That's why he came up with the Python, so which covers both programming and shell scripting. That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. The scope of the Python, where exactly it has been used nowadays. So in science, okay, in data sciences, in bioinformatics, okay, in most of the system administration utilities like Unix and WebSphere, okay, in server side. And anyhow, we know that in web apps we do use Python. Okay, and in computer graphic interface and testing scripts everywhere we use Python. Okay, So why do people use Python nowadays? So the main primary factors wherein um, in Python. Okay, so most of the people who use Python, these are the crucial factors wherein it's a object-oriented programming language, similar to if you compare uh, high-level language like Java. This is also a object-oriented. Everything drives with the objects. Okay, that structure basically supports such concepts like a polymorphism. Okay, operation overloading and multiple inheritance, these things. So if you are good with any single language, anything, C or C++, Java, Python, anything, so concepts are similar: polymorphism, overloading, overriding, multiple inheritance, collections, multi-threading, everything is similar in every language. Okay, only syntax make it different. So Bhuvaneshwari, you do you have any programming background? I just want to know because I am not aware in which stream you did the MS.
I did it in electrical and computer engineering. I don't have that much of a programming background.
At least a single programming language. Hope you have done in your graduation.
Yeah, I did a bit of like C++ and Python.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's the basic programming language. Uh, whichever you have covered. So that one is enough. The knowledge is enough. Okay, so everywhere we cover these things. Okay, and in Python, indentation is mandatory. That is one of the greatest feature in Python. Why? Because without indentation, you cannot run the program. It was a syntax error. Okay, so compared to other languages doesn't bother about syntax. Okay, so Python indentation is one of the greatest feature, and it is mandatory. As I explained, it's free, open source. Downloading and installing is free in Python. Okay, and it's powerful. It's powerful because of its dynamic typing. So we have PyCharm. So there are a few tools where it provides us a dynamic typing. Whenever you write, the modules present in it so pop up so asynchronously. Okay, so you can see how many methods are there, how many functions are there, how many classes are there, how many we can make use of. Okay, like uh, like in any of the editors IDEs. Okay, you can take the core advantage of dynamic typing and built-in types and tools. There are so many built-in types and tools present in Python. Okay, library utilities are present. Okay, also the library utilities. Okay, library utilities are nothing but all the core stuff present in Python. Okay, we can make use of the existing libraries. Okay, likewise we have third-party utilities as well. So Python can connect to NumPy and SciPy. Okay, pandas as well. We should import them. We should import these third-party libraries. Okay, normal library utilities also you need to import and make use of in your program. Okay, and automatic memory management. Python, the main advantage is it automatically manages its own memory. Okay, so and it's portable. Okay, Python runs virtually in every major platform used today. Okay, as long as you have compatible Python interpreter installed in your machine, your Python programs will run in exactly the same manner, irrespective of the platform which we run. Okay, once you're ready with the program, and you can take that program and uh, run it across all the platforms. Okay, so coming to the next one, so it's mixable and you know it can be linked to the components written in other languages easily. Okay, Python can be mixable. Like Python and C integration is quite common. Okay, and it's easy to use. No other intermediate compilation and link steps as in C or C++. Okay, So no compilation is necessary. If you see first you have to compile, you have to check there are any errors or not, then you have to execute it. But here no intermediate compilation is necessary. Okay, so Python programs are compiled automatically. Okay, in an intermediate form called bytecode. Okay, and then the interpreter reads that bytecode and executes it. This will happen in one go. This happens in one go. Okay, this gives basically Python the development speed of an interpreter without the performance loss in whichever inherent in purely interpreted languages. Okay, and as I mentioned, the structure and syntax are pretty intuitive and easy to grasp in Python. It's very easy to learn. Okay, so believe me, no other programming languages give these many number of features and uh, advantages. Okay, and you can learn it very simple. And who uses Python today? Okay, if we compare nowadays, most of the revenue generating products by real companies. Okay, for instance, for example, Google, if you take, it makes its extensive use of Python in its web search system itself. Okay, uh, also we have Intel, HP, Hewlett Packard, and Qualcomm, IBM. They use Python for hardware testing. So see, in hardware testing as well, they are using. Okay, and compared to other things, YouTube video sharing services also largely written in Python. Instagram also using Python. Everything. So without Python, because Python is the easiest language and no boilerplate code and easy to understand and easy to write. So because these many number of features, nowadays Python has become you know uh, most expensive part. Okay, rare part where people are making use of it. Okay, so previously in 2010 to 2012, so very few people use Python. Okay, because that was that was a Java time, but nowadays everyone is looking for Python. Okay, programming language. What is the first programming hottest programming language nowadays? Oh, Python. So that's the reason. So most of the real revenue generating products are using, most of the real companies are using it. Product based companies are choosing Python. So that's the reason it is popular. And what can I do with Python nowadays? Okay, we can do system programming. That's basic, and graphical user interface programming. So scripting as well we can do, and component integration. In most of the integration tools use Python, and database programming also we can do. Okay, and gaming, images, XML, robotics, everywhere. Okay, we use Python everywhere. Okay, as a scripting language, as a system programming, as a integration uh, tool, the language used in integration tools and database programming. So everywhere we use Python. Okay, and coming to the sample code, it looks very simple for you, but just want to show the sample code. So it covers for both basic level guys and advanced level guys as well. So the main intention is to say Python is very simple, wherein everyone can understand by reading it. Okay, here by assigning the variable. Okay, the data type will be declared itself. Okay, no need to declare integer x, string y, and float z. Likewise, okay, whenever you assign, it calculates the value, or it directly takes the value, and based on that value, it declares the data type itself. Okay, and the comparison we use double equals to. Okay, if z equal to 3.45, if it matches, and y equal to hello it matches, then go inside. So as I was told about indentation, so we use 4 spaces or 5 spaces. Python needs indentation. Okay, and coming to this, and learn about syntax, and for every if and else we need to end our line with the proper colon. Okay, so otherwise it will throw syntax error. Okay, syntax is also simple. No need to you know um, understand much. No need to dig deep dive into. Okay, so whenever we say x plus 1, so it is an integer value, add it will add the value. Whenever say y plus 1, so it is a string value, it doesn't throw any error, it will concatenate. So with single plus you can be able to add, with single plus you can be able to concatenate. So that's the advantage. Okay, we can make use of symbols and everything. Okay, and uh, it is very enough to understand the code, wherein indentation matters to code, as I mentioned in my previous slide, and assignment variables to you know uh, equal to is a assignment, and Python figures out the variable types on its own, as I mentioned. Okay, and comparison operator, it is double equals. Whatever is covered in the previous slide, just want to go through again. Okay, and for numbers we use plus minus, these things are as expected. Okay, for addition arithmetic operations we use these things. Okay, special use of plus is for string concatenation, and percentage is for string formatting. Okay, as in C printf. Okay, percentage we use to string format. Okay, so like integer or float, if you want to read it in the print statement, we use percentage. Okay, so logical operators such as and or not, these are not symbols here directly, these are words in Python. Okay, in other languages it's like ampersand ampersand and two pipe symbols, and this is less than greater than. Okay, or not equal to. Okay, not means exclamatory equal to, we use symbols, but here in Python we have words. So basic printing command is just print. Okay, um, in Python if you print of within single quotations or double quotation, if you want to print hello world, just directly give hello world and it will print. Okay, so likewise, running Python. So if you like to, as I mentioned, print hello world, so it prints like it. And if you assign something, it will get assigned. And if you want to print X, the quantity stored in the memory are displayed in default like this. So 0, 1, 2. If you give X and enter it, it prints 0, 1, 2. Like as a calculator, if you give 2 plus 3 and give some values directly, um, it will print the value. Okay, so believe me, no other programming languages gives this much of ease to run a program, isn't it? Have you ever seen with other programming languages?
No,
Yeah, any questions so far for in Python, so that we
No,
can.
that's
Yeah,
good.
not.
okay, that's cool. So coming to Django. Okay, so Django, wherein it's a framework, AI framework. Okay, the basic knowledge or the basic workflow. Okay, Django, we can correlate these things, Django related stuff with Python. Okay, Django is a front end framework, and wherein it uses backend as a Python. Okay, so we can integrate them well. The basic knowledge, basic workflow. uh, we have a web browser. Basically, any browser if you take, once you hit the request, so it comes to URL comes into the application, and view will take care of mapping. Okay, and the template contains HTMLs, okay, CSS and everything. Okay, JavaScript. Okay, view deals with normal URLs and template. Okay, and we have a main thing is MVT. The structure is model, view, and template in Python. So in Java Spring, you have hope you have heard of MVC. If not, model, view, and controller. Here we have model, view, and template. Okay, so um, if you go to here, so the main we'll go step by step. Web browser, what actually it does, it responds to what users do when they click right on website and the web application. Okay, any website, if you go to any browser, just you will click, and if you will type and click and press enter, right? So that is client side. That does happen basically. And coming to URL, it often referred as a web address, right? So whatever you give here in your browser, okay, that is your web address. Okay, so it provides mapping. It provides mapping to the view. Okay, and what is mapping here? Okay, so the act of assigning the functions, okay, to URLs. Okay, so what the URL contains all the URLs. Okay, urls.py we have. Okay, in Python I will show the structure of the Django project. Okay, so that you can understand well and correlate. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so it provides a mapping. It plays a mapping part. Okay, so act of assigning these URLs to view part. Okay, that is a major job of a URL. And coming to the view, okay, where all of your functions are written in view itself. Okay, view plays a major role wherein we can write our functions and sends the content to the template. Okay, so getting the information from the model. So this is a mediator between model, URL and template, if you see. So you have to mention your view whichever you have created as part of your urls.py. Okay, if this URL has been hit, go to this view. If b URL has been hit, go to this view. If c URL has been hit, go to that view. So likewise everything we do mention in our configuration urls.py file. Okay, and coming to the view part, it sends the content to the template, get the information from the model. Okay, and in return it puts the information from to the model through the forms. Okay, so it's a mediator basically, view. Okay, it takes care of everything, sending the content to the template, retrieving the information from model and sending back to model through forms. Okay, so you can learn slowly. And coming to the template, okay, this is the place where you systematically it stores all of your HTML files. Okay, so you will have a static folder inside of it for CSS files. We do use less CSS and everything, so you should have a basic understanding of HTML and CSS. Okay, better you can. So both of you are aware of HTML and CSS.
I have worked with it, so yeah, I'm aware of it.
Okay, basic understanding at least, Bhuvneshwari.
HTML is fine. I don't know about CSS.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. We don't cover any CSS related stuff in this. Okay, just I am just giving you the gyan wherein what exactly we are dealing with. So just want to know the prerequisites, tell you about the prerequisites and know where exactly you are. Okay, that's fine. HTML is enough. Okay, and we don't use CSS and JavaScript files, but this is for styling, only styling purpose. So in which color and
Okay.
which format, and on UI, without any CSS, your Google shows like this here in the very top end, and all this stuff will be shown here. But the padding we are giving, so in the middle, center formatting, the coloring, everything. Okay, this is all because of CSS. Okay, Shirak, can you please go on mute?
Говори, chiar pe ce. Cum să las? Nu știu, când go on.
Yeah, fine. So that's the template. Okay, we do deal with the HTML files. Okay, if need, then only we'll go for CSS and JavaScript files or images. Okay, I'll show images part as well. Inside of it, we'll create images folder and we can visualize the image on UI. Simple thing. Okay, UI is simple for whenever we deal with HTML and CSS. And coming to the forms, if you know HTML form, so that is completely different with the Django form. We are talking about Django form. HTML form basically contains input element, submit button, radio button, checkboxes, this sort of stuff. But Django form is something, it aims to fetch the data from the HTML form. Okay, in the templates we have HTML form, so it aims to fetch the information from the template. Okay, it helps to connect to the model. It helps the view to connect to the model. Okay, simple. And coming to the model, so this one is different. This is your structure of an object. basically your object modeling you want to store in the database. Okay, for example, if you have one form on UI, it has a name, address, line one, address, line two, city, zip code, county, everything. So everything is a field. All those fields combination is a object structure. Okay, object modeling. You want to store that thing in the database. Okay, this goes straight to the database and create and edit and request CRUD operations you can do through model. Okay, you have to define all those fields, and straight away model declares all those things. Your object structure. So okay, name, it's a character field. Okay, address line one, it's a character field. Okay, uh, age. Okay, it's a new integer field. Okay, image. Okay, it's an image field. Okay, boolean field. Likewise, we have a number of stuffs. Okay, so those things you will be defining in your model, and straight away the data will be stored in the database. Okay, so before going to the database, we have admin interface. Okay, admin, wherein it helps to register your object in your model, so you can manage your data in the database. Okay, admin is default you know uh, stuff which is given by Django, wherein we can make use of admin.py. It's a file in your Python Django structure, wherein you can once you create your model, and you can register the same model, so to manage data in the database, uh, the registration has to be done in the first place itself. Okay, so your object modeling you can see by log on to admin interface. Okay, so we have admin URL by default given by Django. You can directly log on with super user and go, you can see the model which you define. Okay, so the model which you given inside of your model.py, all the fields which you have given, right? The same thing you can see once you log on to the admin. So simple as that. No need of developing anything. Just you want to see the stuff whichever you have given in the model, and the same thing you are going to see in the admin interface. Okay, is it does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to the database, what is database? It's a collection of data basically. Okay, database is a simple thing where it deals with the data. It's a collection of data, and it is provided with a wonderful backend platform for easy management. Okay, so we do connect with SQLite here. Okay, so this is the whole workflow. Okay, simple structure compared to other UI frameworks. Okay, simple, no need to remember the boilerplate code and everything. There are there are a few syntaxes, 2 to 3, wherein you have to remember the tags and the attributes and everything. So the technical, coming to the technical details, so it has a directory architecture. Okay, and it has a module, it has a commands, it has a template tags I was talking about, and high level URL configuration. High level URL configuration is not necessary, as we are using PyCharm, and template tags we need to remember, and the commands, those are not necessary. We don't use the commands high level URL configuration, because everything we have in PyCharm, so you can write the code. Okay, so how the directory architecture looks like. So this is how your Python Django project look like. Okay, so it's this is the name of your project. Okay, this is your project name, which is similar to this. Both should be similar. Okay, this is your workspace basically. Okay, this is your name of your project. It contains the main init.py file. Okay, so to treat the directory as a package, so to treat this directory as a package, we need to have init.py. Once you create the project, this manage.py, this project init.py, settings.py, urls.py, everything is automatically created. Okay, so settings.py is nothing but your configuration file of your Django project. Okay, and urls.py, wherein you will manage with all the URLs that is provided for mapping, okay, to view.py. As I mentioned, right here we have views.py. So whatever the URLs you use, A, B, C URLs for this view, and E, F, G views likewise. Okay, so once URL get hit, which view it has to map. Okay, those things will be done in urls.py. Once you create the project, this will be created automatically, just explaining what exactly these .py files are. Okay, and manage.py is automatically created, as explained, the command line utility to interact with your Django project. So through command prompt, if you want to hit your project, the main thing is you have to give python manage, python space manage.py space your project name. So this is a command line utility. Okay, this you know example, if you see python manage.py help. Okay, so manage.py is a command line utility to interact with Django project, as simple as that. And your application in your project, you can have a number of applications. Okay, so your app contains again init.py and statics, templates. Okay, admin.py, as we discussed, forms, models, views. Okay, SQLite, as I mentioned, it was your database. So already these things are already explained. Okay, is the clear? Architecture is clear? Any questions here?
No.
Yeah, that's all. Simple. Django doesn't have nothing much apart from this. Okay, your structure looks like this, and .py, everything you write in your Python mode. Okay, and in your templates, okay, you will use some template tags. Okay, the template tags I was talking about. In your templates, you will make use of the template tags. Okay, same. The module is something in package. You have a module.py. Okay, it's a Python source file. It says it's a package is a directory of Python's module. So that's the reason we have module.py. And commands we don't use, but just for understanding, I am saying. Okay, the Python, it starts the Python keyword, and manage.py is a file, utility file, command utility file. And if you want to start any project, okay, you have to give start project name through commands. Just have some understanding. You don't use all these commands, but in interviews or anywhere, if they ask how to create a project through command, so the way you should be able to explain. Okay, the start project is a keyword, and project name, it can be anything. So you can know your own name. Okay, so likewise project name can be given in the end. Okay, likewise if you want to start application similar to this, so instead of project we use start app. Okay, manage.py is common. Okay, that's a common utility file. Okay, start app is a keyword, and you need to give your app name to start an application. To start a project, start project name. And the command is, so create, if you want to create a super user in the database, so this is the way you can create the super user. And if you want to run your server in some uh, you know port, so you can give the port, and manage.py run server. Everything is Python. Manage.py is common. Python is your language, and manage.py is your utility file. And starting project, start app. Okay, start project, run server. Okay, and help. Okay, creating super user. Everything comes in the suffix place. Okay, you have to make use accordingly. Okay, so there are few things, though you use PyCharm or any IDE. Okay, once you make any model changes, then you have to do manage.py make migrations, and manage.py migrate. Okay, make migrations to create a new migration based on the changes you made in your models. Okay, migrate is to apply those migrations into your database. Okay, these two things are important. So only these two queries we do use in our Django, basically, because we deal with model. Those changes to be applied to database, then you have to do make migrations and migrate. Okay, coming to the command, so this is common. To help, we have -h. For server related help, we have run server -h. to ask for what type of commands can be used. Okay, after running server and before starting any project or anything. Okay, commands we just for knowledge purpose we are discussing, and template tags which is important. Okay, in Django the so far up to 23 sites we know already. I mean we are dealing with .py Python. Okay, and the structure we discussed about structure and stuff. Okay, so nowhere we have discussed about technical details. Coming to the technical details, we have only template tags. Okay, the template tags in HTML, you in the forms tag or in body, you can write your tags like this. So this is the way of writing for loop in Django. Okay, so basically Django saves you the trouble of repeating your codes. Okay, no need to repeat. So like for loop, for in objects, so it will pull each object, and for each object you can print the attribute. Okay, so for example, uh, okay, we have one object. Okay, it contains a name, address line 1, address line 2, city, state, zip code. Okay, like these many number of fields. Okay, each of the fields are nothing but attributes. From that object you will lead those attributes, object 1, object 2, object 3, likewise a number of objects we have. Okay, got it. So from that object you can loop in and fetch the attributes. Okay, the way of deriving the template tags are percentage, flower braces and percentage, curly braces and percentage, and with the curly braces, and same thing if you give here the way of closing end for. Okay, and coming to object dot attribute, so these are the direct template tags. You can read something. Okay, so we use double curly braces. Okay, for another example is form dot as paragraph. Okay, you can read your form as paragraph by using this template tag double curly braces, way of rendering the HTML form. Okay, and CSRF token is to prevent the uh, database from hacking. Okay, um, so this is a CSRF token we use in our HTML. Okay, and views in URLs. There is a way where you can define your URL, but this is not necessary. You don't need to understand this because so we use ID, right? So that is this is no longer necessary. The example looks like this. Okay, URL open and close braces, and it start with the beginning of the URL start with cap, and end of the URL ends with the dollar. In between them you can give different signs. Okay, so it can be your URL present in here, and you can read your variable here, and 0 to 9 plus is something, it's a digit format, how your URL ends with. Okay, but nothing is necessary, so directly you can give the URL in between and render it to view. Okay, so this is high level URL configuration. Okay, just for understanding purpose, but nowhere we use these symbols and everything in your Django project. Okay, just to make it clear, in the first class itself, just want to make it do not want to make it. Okay, any questions so far? And we are done.
I have a question. Like this is the demo, and if we go into the training in detail, how long does the training go on?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm just coming after. And so the course content is simple. So the core Python contains input and outputs, operators and data types. Okay, control flows, functions, oops, and exception handling and file handling. So it takes a week to cover. And advanced Python consists of regular expressions, collections, advanced module, and numpy and pandas. It takes a couple of weeks. Okay, huge content. Okay, by 20 days we'll finish Python, and in the remaining 10 days we'll cover Django, the Django basics. We'll deal with the models, views, templates, MVT structure, and forms. But this is the sequence. We'll cover forms first, templates, and if views and models. Miscellaneous section will also be covered. Okay,
And And this, it will be the same structure, right? From the slides, you will be explaining things.
No, the way I explain, this is for only demo
The
purpose.
demo.
Okay,
Okay.
this is for demo
Yeah.
purpose. Everything 85% is practical. Everything I do explain through editor. Okay, first I will explain what exactly is the concept. Okay,
Mhm.
first, for example, if it is there, okay, taking input. Oh, how many inputs are present in Python? Okay, what exactly is taking input? Theoretical part, 15% I
Mhm.
cover. Most of the things I can say 10% theoretical and 90% is practical. Everything I write the program in front of you and explain.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll you know assign assignments to you once the core Python is done and advanced Python is done, and I'll follow up as well. Okay, and I'll assist you with the doubts.
With the doubts. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so 90% is practical. Okay, if you want to go through the recorded sessions once, I mean, if you want to see the recorded session, I can share you the details.
That would be nice. Can you send
Yeah.
one of the recorded sessions as well so that we can get an idea for the classes?
Definitely. So please, I'll share this thing. I mean, I have my mobile number and mail ID in here itself in the Word
Mhm.
document, and please share your details here, your email ID or
The
mobile
chat.
number
Okay.
in the
I
chat.
can put it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, better if you can put it, and so that in the recorded session itself, I can see the chart as well. Okay.
I put in my email address.
Okay.
Yeah, I have put my email address too.
Okay. That's cool. So fine then. That's all. We have covered 40 minutes of demo, 40
Yeah.
40 minutes, and then what is Python and Django and the course content. So sure, I'll share one recorded session. The previous, I think, initial batches session I will share. Fine, and you can go through them, and and confirm Rani or Ramya. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right then.
We'll communicate on email. That would be nice. When you send the recordings.
Yeah. I'll share it
Yeah.
through Google Drive. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
send
Okay.
this course content and the slides and everything through direct mail, and the recording session, right? I will send it through Google Drive. Okay.
Okay.
You'll get a mail. Please check. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank you,
much.
Thank you,
Chaitanya.
Chaitanya.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.